Hey, and welcome to another episode of Follow Up Genius. My name is Wesley.
And I am Steven. My friends, they call me Groot.
Groot?
Do you know why they do?
Loot. What?
Well, if you want to make some loot, who do you call?
Groot.
Right?
Got
exactly. It. Hey, thanks for joining us today. We have an amazing guest on today. He is going to share with us how he increased his business by 50% by one little freaky fast strategy that he implemented.
One.
And it's freaky fast.
How simple this is.
Really freaky fast.
Welcome to the Follow Up Genius Show, a show dedicated to helping real estate agents find their fortune in follow-up by creating stronger relationships, generating more referrals, and converting more leads. Hosted by Wesley Rocha, founder and CEO of LinkU, and Steven Groders, real estate entrepreneur and high-performance coach. Follow us at followupgenius.net.
Okay, so in this episode of Follow Up Genius, we are covering fast follow-up and how really what we found is a lot of people are kind of messing this up.
Kind of.
On accident.
A lot of them are well, it goes back to that saying, you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
Right?
So
we're talking about freaky fast. We're not talking about a strategy that's going to take months. We're talking about a freaky fast strategy that can increase your business.
So the strategy is fast to implement, and the strategy itself is being fast.
It's being fast. Right.
So let's talk about kind of how this topic came up. Essentially, we've been looking at a lot of agents, a lot of our clients, because we work with a lot of clients with their follow-up, ultimatefollowmachine.com. If you're interested, I always got to
no
drop.
Plugs.
I got to plug that in here and there, right? But essentially, they'll be buying leads, whether it be on Facebook, Zillow, you name it. Lead comes in, kind of it sits around or whatever. So they get to it when they get to it because they're busy.
Supposedly.
Well, usually. Yeah, supposedly. So depending on the agent you are, you might be busy. You might be showing a property. You might be taking a nap.
Might be writing a contract.
You might be writing a contract. Yeah. So if
You
you're
might
busy,
not
what are you
be
supposed to do?
following up.
How are you supposed to follow up with somebody if the lead comes in and you're busy, right? So that's one challenge. Oh, well, I don't have an assistant. That's something we hear a lot. I don't have an assistant, or they would call. Teams use ISAs.
Yep.
But those can get expensive especially if you're an individual agent.
Yep.
An ISA, and then the only other thing I think, ISAs are great, but if you're an individual agent, sometimes it could be tough because the people want to talk to the agent.
Mm-hmm.
So that is, you can make it work, but
Yep.
tricky. And then the other thing is, what else? ISA, if you're busy, you can't call them back, and I guess there's automation.
Yeah. But not everybody knows about automation either.
Yeah. How do you automate a quick callback? That's a lot of people don't understand how to do that.
It's actually really kind of simple. It goes back to not knowing what you don't know.
Right.
Right. At the end of the
So
day.
we're gonna have an agent on who he was paying a lot of money in Zillow leads, I think. Something.
I want to guess he spent 40, 50, 60 grand on Zillow, Trulia online leads. And he never converted a thing, and he still spent the money on it.
That's crazy.
He thought he needed it for branding.
Oh, that was it?
Yeah, but no,
Okay.
he was getting leads, but he didn't convert any.
Right.
He just saw I kind of need to spend this $3 to $35. I don't know. He was like spending like $3,500 a month.
How many of you maybe have a lead source like a website, a Zillow, a Trulia, or something that you're paying for leads for, and maybe you're also having trouble. We get that a lot. A lot of people, the leads suck. There's all these different things. They're already working with an agent. There's all these different complaints about the leads, and to have those Zillow leads and then not close them, and that's not the first thing. I hear these stories all the time. Leads come in. Hey, what happened? Oh, I haven't closed any of those. Those are all trash. I'm like,
These leads suck.
I mean, I don't know. Like these other guys are closing way worse leads than this.
Dude, that happened to us last summer, remember? Over here in Chino Hills?
Yeah.
People went in and scheduled a time to see a $1.8 million house. The guy never called them back.
Wow.
Like, 50 grand, 60 grand. Yeah, anyway, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I mean, that's basically what we're seeing is just people, sometimes they don't know. So we've got the answer for you, and maybe we should bring him on.
Yeah, I think so. Should we set the table a little bit about Javier?
Yeah.
Javier is one of our accelerator clients. He's increased his business by about 45% this year by not spending more money, by just changing one thing really, really, really quick. Pretty
Right.
simple. Why don't we have Javier explain
Let's
everything?
bring him on. AT&T connect us with Javier for our lifeline.
Hey there, Javier. It's I want to introduce you to everybody. It's Javier Rodriguez from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Hello, Javier. Welcome to Follow Up Genius.
Hello, Steven. How are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm okay, thank you.
Good, good. So how's the weather there in Grand Rapids?
The weather is it's great.
Sunny and cold, right?
Sunny and cold, yeah.
Well, Wes, Javier's been a part of our accelerator program for quite some time. The reason why we had Javier on our show today is the importance of following up fast, like freaky fast, right? So, Javier, tell the listeners about how much money you invested in online leads with Zillow, Trulia, Realtor, Facebook, Google. About how much money have you spent in the last 3 years on online leads?
Last 3 years. Well, I'm spending around 42,000 a year with only Zillow leads.
So you're spending 42,000 a year with Zillow leads. How many deals did you close in 2018 with Zillow leads?
In 2018, none.
How about 2017?
Well, I started it on 2018, the beginning of 2018.
Okay, so you spent about 60 grand on Zillow leads and you haven't closed anything yet?
Well, in 2018, I didn't close anything, but 2019, it was a total different experience.
So in 2019, how many transactions do you think you're going to close from online leads?
I think from Zillow leads, because I track my information, different sources.
Sure.
So it's around 15 transactions.
So you went in 2019, you went from 15 transactions in 2019. In 2018, you did 0. What do you think the difference was between 2018 and 2019? Because the lead's the same, right?
Correct. Leads the same. Yeah.
So what was the big difference between 2018 and 2019?
It was the mindset and the speed to lead. It was very important to get the lead right away.
So you found out that speed to lead is probably one of the most important aspects of online leads.
Yes, correct.
So what was the response time originally?
Oh, I was calling after a day or two whenever I had a chance.
Oh,
when you
okay.
got around to it.
Okay, so like, and the way it works with Zillow, right? So the Zillow lead comes in, what, like an email, or how is it delivered?
At the beginning, yeah, I was coming in an email, and
text.
Okay, and then from there, once you get the lead, you might be busy or something. I'm guessing,
Right.
maybe helping someone or working on something. So by the time you actually responded, you're saying a lot of times it was like a day or two later.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I'm always busy and I didn't pay attention to the money that I was spending.
Okay, and then what about after that initial contact? What type of, were you putting him in a CRM or a system, and was there further follow-up, or did it, like if you didn't reach him or if something didn't happen yet?
In 2019,
No.
2018.
Yeah, the last year.
I didn't put them in anything. I just I didn't have a system. So because I didn't have a system, I have to go to the website of Zillow and try to see. It was all, trying to do whatever I can with the information that they provided.
Okay.
Right? So it wasn't a lead problem. It was
Right.
a follow-up problem.
Yeah, and
Right.
organizing him, putting him somewhere.
Speed.
Speed to the first response, that's first of all. And then after that, there's the continuous follow-up as well.
Yeah, nurturing.
Yeah, nurturing. Yeah.
Right? So if you understand the data, because Zillow distinctively tells us that you're going to get a 3 to 5% conversion rate,
Mm-hmm.
right? So out of 100 leads, you might get 3 deals out of that. But if there's 8 people on the buyer's agent list who are all getting that same lead, it's generally the first one to call back is going to be the winner. Is that what you found out, Javier? First one to the carriage gets to ride in it?
Yeah, that's correct. Mm-hmm.
So speed to lead was the biggest thing. And then, of course, implementing nurturing.
So tell me about the change. How did that occur?
So when did the change occur, Javier? When did you realize that speed to lead is the most important aspect of online lead generation?
One day I entered by mistake, or I don't know what happens, and then all of a sudden I was in one of your programs.
Our accelerator group. And in our accelerator group, you realized and found out that speed to lead is the whole key to online leads. I like to say,
is that true? That's where you you're doing obviously pretty decent before. So when you're in the group, that's when you learned about that, maybe about the speed to lead and implementing some systems.
The speed to lead and also the mindset of the customer.
Cool.
Yeah, so the mindset is, 3% of these people want to see a house, right? So you can't worry about the other 97%,
mm-hmm.
right? And that's where automation comes into play. Yeah. One of the first things that we did with Javier's business is we implemented automation. Would you like to schedule time to view the property? You're just casually looking, right? That's going to separate a lot of the buyers from the looky-loos.
Okay.
It's just by implementing the automation. And obviously, follow-up's the key, right? So how many times a day do you call, when you get a brand new Zillow lead in, how many times do you call that lead back?
Oh, 2 times a day.
2 times? And then with the automation, that's 2. So statistics tell us it takes 4 to 6 connections before someone actually picks up. But what you found with speed to lead is when that person does answer the phone, like when you're the first one there, they always say this, don't they, Javier? Man, that was fast. Don't they?
Yeah.
Right?
Clients last month, he said, "Oh man, I just click on it, and then all of a sudden my phone was ringing."
Yeah. I always like to say, when they say, "Man, that was fast," I always like to say, "Well, you think that was fast? Wait till you see us get you into a house." Right? Well, hey, Javier.
So how does it? Well, hold on. So okay.
Hold on, he says.
So once you implemented the speed to lead, and now they're impressed with your speed response time, what? Just kind of like, was that something like immediately things just like, oh my goodness, like did things just start clicking as far as, the opportunities and whatnot with those same leads? Or like, I'm just curious, like how did it, once you started calling back immediately, what do you notice kind of change with their responses, maybe getting a hold of them, that kind of stuff?
I know one thing that changed. Your checkbook.
Checking balance.
The checkbook balance went up.
Yeah.
But honestly, what changed?
We increased, like I was doing yesterday, because I'm going on vacation, I'm trying to put everything together, and we increased like 40% from last year to this year in volume. So yeah, it helps me a lot in how to get these leads and convert it into clients.
Right.
Go ahead. I was just curious, like, so before, when you were calling like 2 days later, what was your typical response? Were you getting a hold of them, or they're saying, oh, I'm already working with someone, or what was the typical response?
Yeah, the thing is, the typical response was, I'm already working with an agent.
Okay. And so now you call them within 5 minutes or whatever, or less.
Javier's 2 minutes.
Okay. And now I'm guessing you don't hear that response unless obviously they were working with an agent before they fill out the lead.
Yeah, because once you get in contact with the person, then you start to do a relationship, start to ask some questions and try to meet them as soon as possible. So, and then when you meet them, then you got the opportunity of sell yourself and get more information about the client, what they're looking for.
What their dreams and goals are, right? again, it boils down to speed to lead.
Cool.
It really does.
It's just crazy. Like, I mean, it makes sense, especially with real estate, because those leads are going to other people.
Yeah.
You know,
It is. And we're going to talk about that
Yeah.
later in the show.
it's amazing.
Of why Zillow is doing what they're doing and Open Door are doing what they're doing. I mean,
Yeah.
we've done this to ourselves, right? It's like if your air conditioning, if you lived in the desert, or like in Javier's, it's what, 20 degrees where you're at today?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
If your heater went out, how long would you wait until you called another heating and cooling guy? Would you wait a couple days?
No.
So why do we as realtors think that people are going to wait around for us to get back to them? When
Yeah.
we've got more information, more power in the palm of our hands than we ever have before.
Right.
Why do we think as realtors that people are going to sit around and wait for us?
That's exactly true.
Yeah, the thing is, if they put a good cell phone, and I believe they are expecting a phone call, and if nobody calls, then they're going to try to call another agent to see if they can get the response right away, because then they're going to be doing something else.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. The number 2 complaint at Zillow is I can't get somebody to call me back. The number 1 complaint is my Zestimate sucks. Raise my Zestimate.
Yeah, I was reading a study the other day, actually. It was saying they did a test. They called 700 agents or something like that, or left forms, and only 43% of the people that they had in it or inquired actually returned their call. And usually they were within a day or two later. Like, nobody does it within a few minutes.
Right.
It's just amazing to me. But I mean, it's
you don't
just
know
one
what
of
you don't know.
Yeah, and honestly, you're so busy, right? Because you have other stuff going on, so it's just like you just don't set aside the time or even think about it, and then it's like, oh, well, shoot, that was easy.
Yeah, and when you do get a hold of that lead right away, because we've recorded these before, and you can always go back and listen to your recording. Those calls are only 45 seconds to a minute and a half, because we don't talk pre-approval, timeline, motivation in the initial contact. We just want to find out if they're interested in looking at a home and when do they want to see it, and if they're working with another agent.
Right.
That's all we
Javier
want to
said
know.
you want to meet as soon as possible, right?
Yeah.
Set up the appointment, and that way you're personally kind of more connected. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that was amazing.
Javier, we know you're really busy. Thank you very, very much for spending a little bit of your busy afternoon with us. And keep up the good work. We're really, really proud of you here.
For sure.
Okay.
Oh,
Thank you.
couple of last things. How many houses did you sell in 2018?
85.
How many houses are you going to sell in 2019?
123.
Holy crap.
123. So that's about a 40% increase, right?
I'm just curious, what was 2017?
Yeah, well, it was 2017.
2017, it was like 55, something like that.
Okay.
55. So your business increased 40%. What do you attribute the success to?
Before I wasn't doing anything online, and I just start doing combining everything with my sphere of influence and my referrals.
Yeah, how much of that business would you say, just an estimate, are like past clients, your existing database?
I could say like is 50-60%.
Wow.
And that's increased a lot.
And that's like referrals, and that's repeat and stuff like that, right? Okay. Wow. So 40% or so maybe new stuff, and then 60% are from the existing database. That's
Right.
amazing.
So
Great.
one of the things, I know we were going to let you go, but one of the things, I was in his office a couple of weeks ago, and Javier likes to do a lot of property promotions, right? He didn't realize what top of funnel lead was and bottom of funnel lead was.
Right.
And now that he knows, he can let automation take over the top of funnel stuff, and
Right.
he can work on bottom funnel.
Yeah.
And we'll get more into that.
Yeah, we'll have
in
to
the
do
end, but
something on that. Yep.
proud to death of you, Javier. Continue the great success. I know your goal was 150, but gosh, 123. That's a nice job. Kudos, my friend.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thanks for sticking with us.
Have fun in Colombia.
Yeah, enjoy your vacation.
All right, brother. We'll talk to you next week.
See you. Bye.
All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Isn't it incredible? By one freaky fast implementation of calling people back freaky fast.
Yeah.
Like, it's that simple.
Amazing.
Right? You know, you and I, we're part of some big groups, some Facebook groups and some communities and stuff. And we see these posts like Zillow's crushing me. What are we going to do about Redfin? And all these people are spending all this time bitching and moaning about these big companies. We've done it to ourselves because of our lack of follow-up.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if
it comes down to the customer experience.
At the end of the day, you hear me talk about it all the time. And the first experience you get is that freaky fast follow-up.
Right.
Like, and you heard Javier say it. When I call people back for our team, they're like, wow, that was fast. And my response is, oh, you think that's fast? Wait till you see us get you into a house. Right? That's your first experience providing that client with a great experience.
It's interesting you say that we brought it upon ourselves because it really is so true. And just as an example, because I was actually having this conversation at the closing table with a few closing table members. That's a whole separate mastermind. But they were talking about the whole Zillow thing and what's happened with Open Door and what's really happening with this, essentially this attack on the real estate industry where, you know, things are just, people are trying to change it, right? And when you look at, and I said, look at Uber and look at taxis. Why did that happen? There was a monopoly, essentially, right? Taxis, buses, but there was really no pickup service unless you're rich, right? There's that kind of thing. There's really no pickup service, so you were on a tax, kind of at their mercy.
Yeah, you had to call 777-777-777, whatever.
And then you would get on the phone and they would, hey, I need a taxi over here. Oh, yeah, I'll be 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour. And sometimes they don't ever show up. Imagine that. So the experience was terrible. The taxis took advantage because you had to have a license, you had to do this. There was all these kind of little barriers to entry, and they got comfortable. No innovation, no advancement in the customer experience. They just got comfortable. Then all of a sudden, Uber, Lyft, they come out of nowhere and are literally putting them out of business. And now the taxis, you go to the airports now, and you have the taxis there, but everyone's just doing the Ubers and Lyfts.
It's all an Uber site now.
Yeah, everything's changed.
When's the last time you've been to John Wayne? Like
everybody's changed.
The taxi area is empty.
Yeah, they're all rideshare pickups. Uber, Lyft. It's going crazy.
Right?
And that happened because of customer experience.
It was horrible.
So it's the same thing. When you look at real estate, it's the same thing. You call, hey, I want to see a house.
Timeline motivation, got something to sell, pre-approved, pre-qualified.
That's if they get a response.
Right.
That's if they get a response. And that's the key, right? Like I was saying, that study they did earlier where they only got 40-something% to respond, that right there, and then obviously the hoarding of the data, but Zillow's been working this for many, many years, and now here you go. So now it's up to, you can still make it, you just have to innovate.
You have to innovate.
It's not protected anymore.
No
industry is.
It's really about customer experience at the end of the day. You know, you've heard me say this before. Amazon did not put JCPenney's or Sears out of business. Poor customer experience did. Netflix did not put Blockbuster out of.
Nope.
Late fees did. Zillow, Realtor, Trulia is not going to put real estate or realtors out of business. Realtors are going to do it to themselves.
Right.
You know, we're crazy. We think a click equivalates to a commission check, or if someone clicks on our profile that we're entitled to a check. There's more power in the palm of our hands than we've had in generations before us, right? How come it's not that hard to pick up the phone and call someone back? Why is it that difficult? I'm going to show you this interview with Greg Schwartz from Zillow, explaining why Zillow's doing what they're doing.
Yeah, and I know you worked there for a little while. What was the biggest issue that I know is, hey, they're not getting called back.
Yeah. So Spencer Raskoff, one of the original founders of Zillow, he was all about the agent.
Yeah, he started
really
that way.
He was so about the agent. I've seen that guy do crazy stuff for agents, but you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. And he used to say, drink or drown. We're killing ourselves. That's the reason why Zillow is starting to buy houses, starting to flip houses, is because they can control the customer experience.
Right.
You know, if you're a Zillow Premier Agent, you had to experience Premier Agent Concierge. Even Premier Agents who were spending 10, 15, 20 grand a month still wouldn't call people back. In Zillow, like, they're damaging my brand. I can't have these pathetic people not calling people back.
Yeah.
So Zillow's like, okay, they actually came into our office, interviewed us, like, okay, you're not going to be part of Concierge. You guys, you know, we got like a 90% connection rate, which is national average like in the 50s. So 1 out of 5, 1 out of 2 people are getting called back, which is ridiculous.
So Zillow was forced to make the move because their name was on the line. Because when people inquired on Zillow, people don't know there's a realtor behind it,
Right.
or an agent.
They think it's Zillow.
They just think it has something to do with Zillow.
Right.
So Zillow's like getting all, basically if there's negative reviews or whatever, they're getting, their brand is starting to tank because, oh, don't use Zillow, they never call you back. Well, it's not us, it's the agent we sent it to.
Yeah, it's the person who's spending 10, 20, 15 grand a
Right.
month who's not calling people back, which blows my mind, Wes.
Yeah. So now, and now it's not even just about calling back anymore. It's about, and it's never been. If anything you look up, it's been for probably decades. Speed the lead.
It always is.
With it, basically, every study shows that it has to be within 5 minutes. It has to be less than 5 minutes. Less than 5 minutes, your chance of conversion rate, I forgot what the exact number is like
800%,
way up here.
Stupid crazy.
After 5 minutes, it like takes a huge drop, and then it slowly, not slowly, but drastically drops everything after that.
Yep.
Now, obviously, if there's agents doing it in 30 seconds, 1 minute, 3 minutes, that's something to consider. That's competition. That's a race. But at least using something, you could use automation. I know there's CRMs. There's out there. Most CRMs do it. It's just a matter of hooking it up,
And a lot of
turning it on.
agents don't.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
just a step. They don't know how to do it.
Can I just say one thing?
But yeah.
Just because you write a check to a technology company does not entitle you to a commission check. This is still a lot of work, right? And I get agents all the time. I can't believe this guy down the hall. 3 years ago, the guy couldn't get out of his way. Now he's the leader in our office. And I'm thinking to myself, why don't you go talk to him and ask him what the difference is? It's follow-up. There's a fortune in the follow-up. Cliche, cliche, cliche. Yes, there's a fortune in the follow-up.
Which is exactly why we made an entire podcast about it.
Buy, die, unsubscribe, send us a restraining order. That's when our efforts stop. That interview that we just had, his average commission's $3,000 in that marketplace. So 15 deals, right? 15 times 3,000. So he made 45,000. That's almost about a break even. But he's understand now speed to lead. That's the first experience that consumer's going to have with you. And you got to make it a good one. And Javier obviously has done that. He's increased his business by almost 45%.
Yeah, and on top of that, not only did he implement, and that's kind of another piece to it, he not only implemented Speed the Lead, which started closing those deals, but then he also started working his database.
Oh yeah, we did a little report on his year-to-date closings, and like 70% of his business comes from repeat and referrals.
Great.
Yeah, 67 or 70. Call it 67%.
I think he said like 60%. I think.
Yeah. We were just looking at it. He's like, "Wow, I should spend all my time, effort, and energy on these." I'm like,
"Well, yeah, because
he's been doing it next door.
He's been doing it for a while, and if you've been doing it for a while, how long has he been doing real estate?
10 years.
10 years, yeah. So you've been, I feel like 5, 6, 7, definitely 10 years. If you're in 10 years and you don't have more than 50% of your business from your database, there's definitely a disconnect, a huge disconnect somewhere. And to think that you put in all that work and all that effort, and this is for another episode, but just to think you put in all that work and you're not reusing it is a tragedy.
Well, it is because it's follow up at the end of the day. I know I was kind of
tragic. I made a new word.
Travesty.
Tragedy.
Just call the people back. That's all you got to do is just call them back.
So on that,
if you can't call them back, our next episode is going to be on retargeting and remarketing.
Yeah. Retargeting.
Creepy ads. Great. Creepy ads. I love them.
I don't think they're creepy.
They're not, but they're really, really powerful and they're really effective.
But next episode sounds
Retarget,
good.
remarket, stay top of mind.
Yes. How do you follow people around on the internet with your face?
So we like to say here at Follow Up Geniuses, follow up, follow back, follow around. Follow up, follow back, follow around.
Okay. You follow around. You follow them around the
Well,
internet.
your first one, the initial follow up.
Yeah.
And then, let me check and see if there's more photos to that property, or if I can see, that'll be a follow back or follow through. And then if they don't talk to you, or they don't click or anything, now you can follow them around with the retargeting ads.
Exactly.
And there's only 4 industries they're really good at. We talked about it this morning.
Well, let's save that for the next
We will.
episode. So if that sounds interesting to you, definitely tune in, because that'll be next week. So set your calendar. All right. That is all that we have time for today. Thanks, Steven, Javier. If in case you're watching this later, thanks for coming on, and I hope this is helpful for you. So if you are interested in using systems like this to automate essentially your immediate follow-up,
You can apply Freaky Fast Follow Up with link use.
check out theultimatefollowupmachine.com. We have a system that does it, or maybe you already have it at your fingertips. Maybe go take a look. But if not, you're not sure, you need help, we're here for you.
Yeah, give us a call.
Yep. All right, so that was it. And also, Follow Up Genius members, you'll be able to catch any, I don't know if we had any special attachments and stuff, but anything, show notes, we do have the show notes and all that stuff is available to Follow Up Genius members. It is free to join. Just go to followupgenius.net. That's all for us, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Follow Up Genius Show. Get the show notes and discover our fantastic bonus member-only content when you become a Follow Up Genius member. Join today free at followupgenius.net. The Follow Up Genius Show is sponsored by LinkU.